says invest. So I just had an earlier video, right? And I said I was going to call the police, and I did. And he gave me an event number. So not actually, like, I guess, filed repeat police report number or something. I was upfront because I told some of y'all with my disability and stuff. So you don't want to make the police look bad by not saying everything. So I mentioned stuff that was going on at work. The stuff that was negative was, I didn't mention it here, and I'm not going to still say it, but they were putting me in danger with something. I don't want to be specific, but my landlord was putting me in danger. And I made a call to have that stop. I said, you know how I know it's you? Because it just stopped, And I said it much more politely than the way I'm saying. I said, you know how I know it was you? Because it just stopped. And I said it much politely like that. But I said it much more stern, much more firm, like I am now. And the washing machine, the vandalism there. My mom was here for one of the times. I said, I don't put my clothes on the counter and then pick up spoons and forks and then throw them in there. Having the washing machine run like that is vandalism, and it's dangerous, and it's expensive, and to go through the hassle of, what would be one of them? It would be rent to own. That would be an option, rent to own. I'm not sure I'm a washateria person. I've done it before. It is a lot of hassle because you want to make sure your clothes don't get stolen. It's taking up time. It's not time efficient. If time costs money, time costs money when it comes to, it's going to cost your stress level to be there, and and your unhappiness level. Like, rich people live longer. I don't think just because, like, they can afford the healthcare and stuff, but, like, if a poor person is stressed out about, I could be at home, relaxed, doing whatever I want to do, and they're at the washateria stressed out because they're not doing what other stuff they could be doing, they could still be doing laundry, then that puts wear and tear on their body that's more dangerous to them, that even if they do have the health insurance and healthcare, they're now sick where they wouldn't have been had they had a washing machine at home. And so that's dangerous to someone's health and someone's property. With that said, I mentioned some of the things, and my grandfather died. He didn't like it. He was like, when was your next appointment with your psychiatrist and stuff like that. So, there are some, possibly, I think that there are a lot less mental patients that are having relapses necessarily when something bad happens to them than people like to think, and it's always an easy scapegoat, and I don't like being discredited. I have a master's degree, and that got brought up because I don't know if I can say that. I don't want to say why. But it got brought up because he asked me, something about my grandfather, and I said, my grandfather, we were good. He was, and so I said, well, let me tell you something. He was a retired police officer, retired postman, retired military. And so I was homeless at one point, and I didn't get the same expected respect. There's my master's degree. What I learned in school, my higher education growing up, with the way the Constitution works, the way laws work, when the police in certain cities in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, not this one, it did not have the public transit system, so I wasn't around here. I'm pretty sure they probably would have treated me the same. I didn't mention that to this police officer, of course. But, so I have that much together, right? Not to say, hey, this includes you if I would have been able to come to this city. But I didn't get the righteous treatment, according to the law. And there's Act to Act, there's a YouTube channel, and it just brings me to tears. Not just because what's happening to the people in the video, and yeah, there's this great story sometimes of, like, how they like win a lawsuit or something, but like you can't pay them $7 million. That pain doesn't go away. They're scarred. The way I'm scarred, like if you pay me some incremental amount, it doesn't take away my vision of how cruel people are, and if you've been, why did I mention that? I was like, if you've been scammed or something, because I've been in a cryptocurrency scam, and where I got scammed. If you've been scammed, and then you see people on YouTube that admit they're scammers, and it's like, that looks like a normal person. And you've been scammed, and you're like, oh my gosh. And there was catfish and scamfish, and there was a scam artist that was on there, and I was like, that's a real person. And he showed his face, and he's in a foreign country, and stuff like that. And so they smile to your face like a normal person. But that's just like in my racist videos. I don't want to bring it up that way, but sexist videos, anyone like that. If you have a bias or someone has a bias against you, and you wouldn't know. You'd just be like smiling, having a good, fun, fantastic conversation. And it could be going on with you. The person who is working, it's not just you as the customer, but you, the person working the customer service position somewhere, could have a bias against you. And the worst place that could happen to you is at the car vehicle thing, right? Because they could say, oh, this is wrong with your car, that is wrong with your car, this is wrong with your car, right? With women and stuff. There's a website called Women Ought to Know. I saw a YouTube video with like Women Ought to Know, with spelled AUTO on auto, and a woman they were doing this double thing where there were the exact same cars. The only difference was the color. They were the same year and stuff, and every single place in that Metroplex, wherever, the woman was required more services, got charged more, and all this other stuff. There was always something that was more ridiculous. And so it's like, do you want to have to go to a website and put in the extra effort as a girl, or do you want to have to earn your own certification to find out what's wrong with your vehicle and just invest in that and constantly taking continuing education? Because that would be an idea. Just be like, I don't need to do this as a job. Just invest in this to save thousands of dollars on getting car work done, which is still ridiculous. I think that would be a business idea on its own for someone to just say, okay, I'm going to, I don't work on cars, but we're going to offer this service, but not say. But of course, the problem, I think, still lies in the liability. They were saying, oh, you need this still. I think if that still goes on, like, you need stuff that you don't need, then it's all moot, right? If it's saying the level, like, Discount Tire has a system and it goes from 1 to 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, whatever. So if they say, okay, your belt on a 0 to 9 scale, or a 4, so you need belts, and it could be an 8 or 7, and you're like, you don't want that. Or if it's, you get what I'm saying, you don't want it to be a 7, or you don't want it to be a 6, is what I'm saying, or 7, and then someone say, we're recommending this at another place, when that person's like, oh, it's not a 4, it's not really recommended, you could probably get another 15, you could start saving up for it and get another 15,000 miles off of it. And they're recommending it at 6 or 7 when it's not even down to a 4. And if you don't even drive 15,000 miles a year, then you're not going to need that for another 3 years. There's going to be some other work that you might need. So anyway, with that said, in that scenario, women being discriminated against, it's like, oh, I have mental disability capacity, so it must be that. And so, you can only speak clearly and communicate clearly and say what's going on. He's not a doctor, so that's a problem. You didn't show up with the doctor and say, no, she's fine, or no, she's not. So, what to do. I didn't have my medical doctor say, no, she's fine, on the phone, saying, no, she's fine, let's report this to the police together. I didn't have them standing with me. So that's bad, too. the other thing, like, it's sort of like one of those things, like, oh, I should earn my master's in counseling or something, and be like, yeah, now I can declare myself mentally sane. I don't know. I'm not even sure how many universities would allow me to legally attend their university and earn a master's degree in a psychological field, right? To say, no, I'm fine. So anyway, obviously I'm not fine. There's a lot that's going on emotionally. I was very wrecked yesterday. If you listen to the video, I'm very upset. I'm very upset. I'm not happy with what's going on. It's stuff at work, and I'm not delusional. I thought I was myself at one point, but it's stuff kept happening, and I'm like, no, I'm not psycho. I'm psycho, but I'm not psycho, right? So, and I'm very passionate about stuff. I'm very passionate about money. My spending's off track right now. I've been really good in the past with, like, oh, I'm not going to spend big, I'm not going to spend small, I'm not going to spend on these dollars. And I'm like, oh, I need this dollar because of this and this and that. And I saw something today and I said, no. You don't need to spend. It was at Target. It was a really good deal. It's 99-cent, like, Hallmark cards for October Halloween, right? And I was like, oh, I could get those for family members. And I was like, you gotta learn back to the basics. Saying no to... I got real bad at one point. It was saying no to milk. Saying no to eggs. I would go weeks without milk or eggs. Weeks without yogurt. And so without literally groceries, right, that you needed. And I was eating, when I finally got to the point where I was eating, was like almost cereal. It was really weird, but I saved a lot of money, but it was really bad. And then I realized once I was saving a lot, there was a guy on the Money Guy show. I don't enjoy that show as much as I used to, because they'll answer the question at the beginning and then they'll go off on a tangent and repeat the same stuff to me. But they do have good material sometimes. So he mentioned the cereal thing, and I was like, oh, is that me? And I'm saving a lot of money. But the difference was he was making a good amount of money at that point in time, possibly when he was making, and he's younger than me, and he was making a ton of money with investing, and I'm a cashier. So I said, no, maybe you should buy some fruits and vegetables. So I started incorporating more stuff into my diet. But then, as time grew on, that was happening around the time of inflation. And then, oh my gosh, with my finances, right? That was insane. I was like, well, you still have margin, but it's just not as much. And then in recent months, because of the diet changes, I bought a new scale, so that was like $50. I bought exercise equipment. I said that to y'all in this last video. Within the last two videos, I said, I spent, what was it? I spent $70 plus $40, like $110, and I want to buy another one. But there's this Prime Day sale, October 10th, 11th. And I'm like, I was planning on it. I was like, no, because Black Friday is coming out. I don't know if I'll do it on Black Friday, and I hope I do. It depends on also, it'll give me more time to see what calisthenics workouts I'm doing, to see if I'm even going to devote the time to the machine, because I don't want to have it. I have access to a gym. There's one workout machine that I want to do at the gym, and it's like a back extender. I love that machine for my lower back. And so I'm like, do I really want to go to the gym for one machine, and that's it? Because I can do aerobics at home, and then be hot, take a shower, and then do some sit-ups, and not need the shower, but just, and then cycle do more sit-ups or push-ups or something. So that's the thing. And then I can also don't have to wear headphones at home. I can be listening to stuff, right? And so, but that's another thing. The protein powders, there's a lot of clearances going on, a lot of sales. So there's a lot of spending on that. And there's no way. So back in the day when I was homeless, I saw at Wally World. I don't even like shopping there. There's so many more conducive, greater stores to go to, right? But I saw a watch. It was $55, $60. I was like, oh, that's so cool. It's locked up in a case. I was like, maybe I'll save up for that, being a homeless girl. I also had my Social Security disability, so I had the money to buy it, but I didn't. And time went on, and I was like, they're not going to carry. Someone said they're not going to carry that anymore. I'm like, it's like, I just couldn't. And so even like when I was working at Kroger in the very beginning, I started at almost $8 an hour or so as a cashier. And then as time went on, I think, as the wages have gone up through the years, it's like, okay, making much more now. And I got another watch, and I want to show it to you. It looks like, the light is too bright. Let me see if there it is. You see that? That is so cool, isn't it? And I was like, it was so funny. I saw a sign that said Jessica Simpson. I was like, no. I was like, no way, Jessica Simpson has watches? Where are they? And it's in my hand. And I couldn't find the Jessica Simpson watch. I turned the whole wheel around. And I go over to look at it under like a darker light. There was a silver one, this one, and there was a black one. I wanted all three, of course. And I can technically spend it. I shouldn't, you're like, you shouldn't spend this, but, if you make double, triple years later and more or whatever, and the price of this watch wasn't $50, $60, it was like $23. So, and with inflation going on, I was like, oh, you've got to get this watch. So, I don't really buy that much stuff for me. I really don't. That is not needed, because you have a watch on your cell phone. What do I have? I have Amazon Prime. I have an Amazon Prime. That's what I have that I need. The next thing, if I could say, it was internet Wi-Fi. I needed it initially because the cell phone towers on my cell phone companies were not, I had unlimited internet at home, and the towers during the pandemic were like going, oh my gosh, frizzing out. I couldn't watch YouTube. I couldn't listen to Spotify. I couldn't listen to iHeartRadio. And I was getting upset. So I said, okay, this is what I'm doing. And did I try to cancel? So maybe I tried to cancel, I think 2 or 3 years. I don't know. But you do have to be willing to cancel. It is something to consider. It is nice to have both phones, because I had mobile hotspot available a certain amount on one phone, and I could connect the other phone. So that was another feature. And then now with one of my phones, I have enough. I have high-speed internet on both phones technically with Wi-Fi, so that's nice. And my laptop would have connected to the mobile hotspot if I needed to get on the internet. So during the pandemic, I bought a Magic Bullet, which is the Nutri Ninja system. Because I was like, I want to eat more fruits and veggies. And I did in the beginning, and then it started switching to getting budget-friendly with strawberries and bananas. Only to find out later, the sugar in them was keeping me from losing weight. I had them with protein powder. And I needed more vegetables into my diet. So I incorporated that recently. And so I'm trying to think of what else is going on. What did I buy? But that that wasn't something that I think the Nutrip and the Magic Bullet, I wanted to get something more expensive at the time. But what happened was, it said like $49.99 or something on Amazon. And then I was like, oh, I'll buy it because I was getting paid the next day. And I was like, oh, it'll be better because I get paid the next day. It went up like 10 or 20 bucks. And I was like, no, they're not getting my money. And then like everywhere did. Target did. All these places did. So it was during the pandemic. I said, nope, they're not getting that extra 10, 20 bucks out of me. And so as much as I've used it, maybe I should have done it. But I did buy the warranty on it. And so there's that. But I have needed it as far as like cooking, I don't say cooking equipment, kitchen appliances. Yeah, kitchen appliances, a utilized kitchen tool for diet and nutrition. And to have it for recipes now is really awesome. But actual stuff like, oh my gosh. So I bought chia seeds. I'm not going to say where I bought them. I possibly bought them at the wrong store because I've seen some competitor stores have them for way less than where I bought them. But I bought chia seeds, flax seeds, and quinoa. And I bought it, I was like, because all these recipes were calling for it. And I was like, oh, this might be good just to take down because it has fiber content. Now it has straight fiber. It'll be good for my ulcers. So, I didn't take it yesterday. I could take it today. Oh, that's another thing. I was so excited because the Lose It app, which if you're familiar with, is they do this thing where it's like it'll give you a calorie deficit, and so I was going by that. And then I was like, yesterday I was like, I worked out a lot today. I'm just gonna shoot for 2,000 calories at the end of the day. I was hungry, and I felt really awesome up until the end of the night because I think I had too much sugar. And so I felt really good to feel like actually not hungry because I've been hungry almost the entire time, which is not good. But I did also find out that the lower you keep your fat percentage of your calorie intake, the less likely you're to regain the weight. By me, she does studies. She has a YouTube channel. It spells Miche. And she had a video where she was like, how to keep your basic weight. The weight gain was based on what you ate when you lost weight. So whatever your fat, if your fat intake was 38% versus 18% or something like that. And so that doesn't really help for the keto dieters, right? I did buy keto bread, but not because I was trying to do the keto diet, because the calorie content was like 35 calories a slice. And I was like, oh, I might be able to have French toast with that. And the fat does make you feel more full. So that is something to consider. I can keep an average in the Lose It app of how much, but I did lose weight. That was the thing. That's what I wanted to tell you. It says, oh, you're only supposed to eat 1,800 calories, but I had like almost 2,000 and I still lost weight. So I was like really excited about that. So I was like, maybe I can ignore this like thing because I don't want to get down closer to my goal weight. And then they're like, you can only have 1,600 calories and I don't want to be there. But it's nice to know I can do that. But with that, so how did I get into this? It was, food is how much more expensive some of the nutritional items can be. What was it? So I made a little bit of celery juice yesterday, and I did that for my stomach just to have like something to that's what I did. I didn't have the fiber stuff. I did that. And I had it straight. And I was really worried. I was like, because the first time I had it was maybe a couple months ago, and I mixed it. I had a bunch of it. It made me feel so full. So I knew not to do the same thing. But I had it also with maybe half of a cucumber juice. And to like, because someone said it tasted disgusting. But I had just like 31 milliliters, so it wasn't really that much yesterday, but it tasted, I was like, oh, that tastes good. Which is really weird. I don't know. I bought these granola bars. So it has high sugar content, high fat content. So I'm like, maybe I should treat that like a dessert. And I have some cereal to treat like a dessert. It's like a Cinnamon Toast Crunch brand. It's not this actual flavor. It's a different flavor. And I bought it at Kroger on clearance. So I'm like, I just want to make sure I get through it. So I had some of that last night to get to my 2,000 calories. And it's like, and I was reading the calorie content and stuff. And English is on one side and Spanish is on the other side. So I understood it, but not because I understood the Spanish, but just because I have like it in my head been memorized. You know, oh, that means fat, that means fiber, that means sugar, that means what else? Cholesterol and so on. And so I'm like, why is this in Spanish? So I turn it over to the other side. I mean, there's the English side. But by then I read the whole side of the box. What else? So, you know, watch your spending when you really want something. I don't even know I want to say that if you watch your spending for your health, because you're going to actually end up spending it later if you don't. You could possibly end up spending it later if you don't spend it now. I mean, they talk about the death rates of more obese people, and I am considered morbidly obese, right? So, you know, do I want to watch my spending now, or do I want to prevent from spending more later? When it comes to my health, so it's really irritating on that end, because I just have to be careful. Because I still want to be careful with my spending. I need to track my spending. I intend to come home and type in my expenses. But the past 2 months, I've done it almost at the entire end of the month, which is not like me. And what's keeping me, I think, is my receipts have been fading and my purse somehow. So I have to keep them in a Ziploc bag to keep them from fading. And what else? So it's throwing me off, because I would do it normally like on Saturday or something. And so I really hate doing the reconciliation all at once. I want to do it right away. So getting back into that mode, because then that will also keep me from spending more. And I do need to do something with my car. I need to get an oil change. My car's not speeding up like it used to. So that's not good. And I don't like it. This is 28 minutes. And what else? I'm going to send off, so this is hopefully the last of the 3 videos of the rant rave part 3. Part 3, so I called the police. The first video, I mentioned the chant that I learned back in grade school. So I'll say that again as I calm down again for not being taken seriously. And it just combines with everything else that's going on in my life, right? Alright. Slow down. Slow down. Stress can make you full of tension. Stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. Easy does it, easy does it. Slow down. Shh. Peace.